Hello everyone and welcome to Onca Wildlife Centre. In today's episode we are building for the coyote and the ocelot will be done next episode, but I did do the viewing shelter for both of these guys together off camera. And before I ramble on too much, let's move on to today's story. Between videos, a new set of maned wolf cubs have been born at the zoo. There is a total of 4 cubs, which is very high for the maned wolf, and they are expected to be rehabilitated back into the environment due to a trial session being done by a nearby wildlife centre. Hopefully these 4 maned wolf cubs will be released into the wild and hopefully learn some of the hunting tips and also what food they can eat and cannot eat. Ashlynn Finch stands proud of this, and we will start moving on to other species such as the coyote. So due to some new deforestation within the continent of South America, some coyotes are making use of this and a new hunting grounds. So now they are starting to inhabit both continents. These coyotes were removed from a nearby ranch as a control measure before new research can be done on the new tropical coyotes emerging from the North America continent. Ashlynn Finch does not want the ecosystem to react with these highly adaptive canines, so they have arrived at Onca Wildlife Centre in the meantime so that more research can be done on how they are adapting to the tropical environment and not affecting the ecosystem. So you just saw a brief view of the sort of temple-y looking area for the coyote and also the ocelot. Now these habitats are going to have a special billboard sign which I haven't made yet to go in between them, hence the Antietam sign being a placeholder. So I will be doing that by next video hopefully, so it will be done and they will have custom signs for everything now. And also I want to point out that today's video is quite a short one, and then the next video might be a bit longer as I'm doing the ocelot, which I think is going to be quite a time to build that habitat. I think just because of the general size of it and stuff like that. But because this video is short, I will quickly move on to the coyote facts of today's video. Now we're going to move on to some coyote facts. So just to keep in mind, there are sort of not subspecies, but where coyotes live changes their sort of morphology, they kind of change. So one's in temperate areas, which is sort of North America, which is like deserts, grasslands, forest, and even like urban areas like towns and cities. They tend to have this thicker, longer fur, which kind of help with the cold winters, and generally they're more grey or brown. Whilst our tropical ones, which we have here at Onca Wildlife Centre, tend to live sort of in Central America and sometimes reaching into South America. They tend to have these leaner, shorter, lighter coloured coats, which is better for the heat and humidity. And this generally means they're more nocturnal, as they try to avoid the daytime, whilst the ones sort of in the cities and North America regions tend to be more crepuscular, where they come out at dusk and dawn, but they can sometimes go at night time if they're sort of in a city as well, just to avoid people as much as possible. So they tend to eat literally anything they can. They even sort of eat rubbish in the urban areas, but if they live at coastal areas, they might even eat some crabs and amphibians as well. So they're quite versatile. They're very widespread canid. They're sort of known for their howls and their yips and their barks. They're quite loud during the mating season, sort of getting attention and stuff. It's found that in sort of tropical areas like Central America where they are found, they tend to be a little bit more quiet. We think it's to sort of draw less attention from more predators, as there's sort of jaguars in there, so they don't want to get attention to them from them. So they are seen more in these suburbs and cities, which is strange. But also you've also got the tropical ones further south, which tend to actually avoid humans more, and they found more sort of agricultural zones or even roadside verges to find roadkill and stuff like that. So they're sort of deviating. I'd imagine in years to come, there's going to be 2 subspecies, the one found in the tropics and one found in the temperate. And it's said that with global warming, they're sort of going to be able to move more south, and maybe even reach sort of Peru and stuff like that. If it sort of reaches the temperatures and stuff like that. But they're generally quite good and they can adapt to any environment. It's just sort of getting towards that tropical rainforest. And with the deforestation, they tend to prefer the sort of less dense environment as well. It means they can see for predators coming and stuff like that, which means they'd be more adapted to things like that, make it easier for them. So whilst, yeah, as I said, they're more sort of they're like humans in the sort of North America and South America and Central America, they tend to avoid them. The only sort of threats they have to them is that they can show hybrid traits. So sometimes they might mate crossbreed with wolves or dogs, and it can create all these sort of strange looking coyotes, which can actually be harmful, as sometimes they can be more aggressive, or actually I think they become more passive to humans, so they actually end up getting in more trouble with them because there's more contact there. So it's sort of recommended now that you don't feed them or anything like that. Right, didn't be able to talk much for today's episode because it is the end. I hope you did enjoy. If you could please leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you want to be named after any animal in the zoo, leave a comment down below and then we can discuss from there. Thank you very much. Bye bye.